Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Your Excellencies, the Chinese Ambassador to Fiji, members of the Chinese delegation, the board, management and staff of the Fiji Roads Authority, distinguished guests, my fellow Fijians, Bula Binakang, and a very good morning to you all. Today is a very special day as we open two major bridges in the greater Suva area that have been completely reimagined and re-engineered to serve a modern, growing, ambitious nation. In front of us, we have the brand new Stinson Parade Bridge, and after this opening ceremony, I will go to cut the ribbon on the newly upgraded Voreqe Bridge. My fellow Fijians, Fiji is on the move. We are rapidly becoming a more modern and more prosperous society. 8 straight years of growth for the Fijian economy have meant 8 straight years of rapid and unrelenting progress for our nation. 8 straight years of unprecedented infrastructure development and 8 straight years of better opportunities for all of our people, especially our young Fijians. More Fijians are finding better, higher paying jobs. That means more are buying cars to travel to work. More Fijian businesses are being started and are expanding. That means they need to reach more markets in Fiji and those overseas. And more of our people are connecting with more of their fellow Fijians, forging bonds with one another, and they want to travel and spend time in areas all around the country. I know that spending time stuck in traffic can feel like the furthest thing from progress. It keeps us away from our families and keeps us away from being productive. That is why, as Fijians are earning more, spending more and traveling more often, we have also undertaken such an ambitious slate of roading infrastructure development. And that plan of action has led us to the opening of these 2 new bridges today, developments that recognize our growth so far and that prepare us for even greater achievement in the years ahead. Here downtown, the new Stinson Parade Bridge will massively free up congestion in our downtown area, making the road safer for our drivers, making the entire area far more accessible for passersby, and giving Fijians living in Lamy and beyond access to our capital like never before. And in Voreqe, the commute home for so many of our people working in Suva and living in Osori will now become far faster and more convenient thanks to the new bridge. If you're a shopkeeper in downtown Suva who lives out of the city, this is victory for you because you can return home to your family more quickly after you have closed shop at the end of a busy day. Today marks a victory for all of our vendors here because you can bring your goods to market in our capital much more easily. It is a victory for our taxi and bus drivers who can work throughout the Suva Nosori Lamy corridor without being bogged down in endless hours of traffic. And today, all the hard-working citizens of Suva, Lamy and Nosori can celebrate a victory because they can now see and use these bridges to come to work and return home when the day is done. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a victory for Fiji, and we can mark these victories because our economy has done so well, and we have put in the work to plan our development and deliver for the Fijian people. In our journey the past decade, as we've sought to build up our nation, whether by extending essential services like water and electricity, building new schools, or extending and upgrading our roads, so often we have had to overcome challenges born from the mistakes of past governments, obstacles that were placed in our path by the poor planning, corruption, and years of neglect under past leadership in this country. So often we've had to replace aging infrastructure that was not built to a higher enough standard. So often we've had to overcome the short-sighted city and town planning of the past in order to accommodate our rapidly expanding economy. And so often we've seen rural and maritime areas that were too long disregarded and that lacked the foundation of infrastructure necessary to welcome new development. We all saw the consequences of taking shortcuts in development back when Cyclone Winston devastated our nation. Schools, homes, and other buildings were reduced to rubble because they lacked proper planning, proper building plans, and they were not built to a high standard. Well, instead of picking up the pieces year after year, cyclone after cyclone, my government is choosing a different route. We are choosing to put the money and the time in right now to build infrastructure that can withstand severe weather and other climate-related impacts, that can meet the needs of our growing economy, and that will support everything our nation will achieve in the years to come. In Watuanga, the old Fletcher Bridge was in no condition to support what Suva and Nosori needed. The structure was rapidly deteriorating when it should not have, and you could not carry the stress of heavy vehicular loads. The same could be said of the old Stinson Bridge here in the harbor. They were both on the verge of collapsing, even though they were originally designed to have stood strong for far longer. And I'd like to thank the government of China for agreeing to partner with my government in funding and constructing the upgrade of both of these new bridges. China has been a steadfast partner in development to Fiji, particularly after 2007. And Your Excellency, I say Vinakabogaleu and Sheshe. Both bridges we are opening today, along with the accompanying drainage, footpaths, and traffic safety facilities, are built to internationally accepted standards. Both the bridges meet the high standard of 50 tons gross weight capacity and 14-ton axle loading. My government is here to ensure that we build for the future, so that we cannot only celebrate a job well done today, but we can rest easy knowing that we did not settle for quick fixes, but that we build schools that are worthy of the children who call them home, roads that can be depended on, rain or shine, and networks of infrastructure that meet high international standards. This morning I would like us all to take a moment and consider what exactly the years ahead will bring for Suva, Nosori, and for all of Fiji. Your great-great-grandchildren may one day call our capital home. They will walk these same streets, and when they look out on the Suva skyline, what Fiji will they see? That is a question I ask often myself as a Prime Minister. While none of us can say with certainty what the future holds, we can do everything in our power to fill those future generations with pride when they think back on the work we carry out today. We can do what we can to make these years the years we found our true self as one nation and one people. And we can make the decision not only to put Fiji on this path of great progress, but to keep us on that path in the years ahead. We've set aside nearly $70 million to upgrade and expand roads and roundabouts in the Suva-Nosori-Leme corridor, where nearly a third of the Fijian population live, because we are committed to building a foundation of road infrastructure that you and your children can rely on. We've set aside $9.5 million to construct footpaths to allow Fijians to walk safely about their communities. and about $4.5 million to construct streetlights in Wenbokasi, Vudi, Nandera, Nandawa, Nasinun, Dobuileru, Kalokalo, and Crescent Road. You can see the new development across Suba for yourselves. Right in front of Thurston Gardens, we recently opened newly repaved roads and footpaths that Fijians are already enjoying, and that development will continue. Our work isn't only being carried out here in the capital. We've budgeted $31 million this financial year towards replacing 16 critical bridges all over Fiji, with another 30 planned to be replaced over the next 5 years. All of that is part of our strategy for making Fiji a stronger, more prosperous, and more unified nation by connecting Fijians to one another, opening up areas of the country to the rest of Fiji and the world, and giving our people access to infrastructure that can be depended on for generations. Ladies and gentlemen, these new bridges we are opening today will make life easier. They will make life better. And when you boil down all the planning, policy making, and budgeting, that is what my government strives to do every day for the Fijian people. I would like to thank the China Railway Group for designing and constructing both new bridges, and the dedicated men and women of the Fiji Roads Authority, the Fiji Electricity Authority, the Water Authority of Fiji, and Telecom Fiji Limited, along with the Department of Lands and the Super City Council, for helping make these bridges a reality for the Fijian people. The Suba-Nosuri-Lame corridor is thriving thanks to hardworking Fijians who are making our largest population center even more dynamic and prosperous every year. With these bridges opening, the sky is now the limit for what the Suba-Nosuri-Lame economy and all of Fiji can grow to become. This area of Fiji is one of the great engines of our economic growth. When you do well, all of Fiji benefits. So keep up the good work and use these bridges to carry out our beloved Fiji into a better, stronger, and more prosperous future. And I thank you. Okay. Follow me, Naka. Hey, wait, don't